Okay, so this is Katie, and this is her Roadmap to Success video. And I just want to go over a few things that we chatted about during this session. First, I just want to remind you of some of the new house rules that we put in place, which is making sure that if she's eating within 3 minutes. Whatever she doesn't eat within 3 minutes, you want to pick up and put back in the bag, and then put the empty bowl back on the ground. So that's one of the first rules. The other one is to have her start to sit before she does things that she really likes. So before going outside, before you throw a toy for her, things like that. That way she's starting to look to you for direction and leadership, and also building up impulse control instead of just kind of barging through life doing whatever she wants and being really excitable and high energy. The next thing that we talked about is our petting with a purpose philosophy. So remember to ask her to sit before you start petting her. So this is a good example. The great thing is that eventually she'll just start sitting automatically to get attention. It's important for the whole family to do this because then it becomes a habit. So when you have guests over, she's more likely to just sit in front of them, which is awesome. Everyone loves a dog that comes over and sits nicely for you. Ready? Okay, she doesn't want to play right now. Oh well, we were teaching her impulse control there. So we want to ask her to sit before doing anything like that as well. So then remember that once she starts sitting, she can get up, put her head on your lap, stand there. Not that though. If she does attention demanding things like putting her paw on your knee or kind of nudging you with her nose or anything like that, that's when you want to stop giving her attention and then start to give her attention when she's being calm and good and well behaved. The other thing is using the escalating consequences to disagree with her instead of saying no or things like that. A good time to do that would be if she was starting to get into anything you don't want her to get into. Say she tried to jump up on the couch, for example, that's a time to use that. If she's pawing at you, you don't use the escalating consequences. If she's attention demanding, like pawing, barking at you or anything like jumping up at you, that's when you do ignoring behavior. And remember to avert eye contact, don't look right at her. If you keep looking at her, she'll keep doing those types of things. I want to encourage you, while I'm sitting right here, to go out and purchase one of these metal leashes like this. As a clip on the end. We aren't using the metal leash in any negative way. Remember, the only reason we're doing this is to prevent her from chewing on the leash itself. And we use this to help her stop jumping on you, to help her calm down. You can also use this method if she's outside and she won't stop fixating on the bugs, to help her learn how to lay down and relax and calm herself. So you can go ahead and do things like that. So you can use that leash in a way to help her learn how to self-soothe and calm. The other thing that we want to do is start to give her a lot more direction in the home. So we can start to teach drop it, leave it, take it, drop it. So when she does the behavior, pair it with a word. So ask her to sit before you throw it again. So when she dropped the toy on her own, I said drop it. You don't want to say it in anticipation of her doing it until she knows the behavior really well. And that usually takes about a week to 2 weeks. But always ask her to sit before you throw the toy for her. You can also then give it to her and say take it, and that's a way to teach her to go and pick something up. And then when you're outside playing fetch, which again, remember, is a great way to burn off energy. When you throw the ball, she chases after it, she picks it up, say fetch. Again, pair it with what she's doing, not what you anticipate her to do, so that way she knows exactly what the word means. And that way, if you're throwing the ball for her and you've done this over and over again and you throw it and she doesn't get it immediately, you can say fetch, and she now knows that means go over and pick up the ball and go and get it and bring it back. And then when she comes back, have that treat ready at first to give it to her so she drops the ball, ask her to sit, then throw it again. Eventually you can kind of phase out the treats, and when she drops the ball, that'll be sufficient to ask her to sit and throw it again, and that becomes the natural reinforcement. But in the beginning stages, you can give her a treat to reward her for dropping the ball, so it's not a tug of war. And again, tug of war itself isn't bad as long as she knows drop it. So when you say drop it, she'll let go. So that's the most important part of that. And then I want to refer you to the video above this one for BAT, or behavior adjustment training. And you can use the same method for the cat, biking, when people come in the front door. So you can use that to help her learn how to relax. Sit. Take it. Good girl. Good girl. Drop it. Good girl. Take it. Good girl. So you can just do little things like this and get her to drop it. Get her to be training kind of throughout the day, so you don't have to sit down and do dog training. But essentially, remember with behavior adjustment training, you're mostly trying to teach her how to self-soothe and calm herself. So you can so when someone new comes over, have her sitting over here with you, and as she's calm enough, she can start to walk over. If she gets hyper, remember to move her back. She doesn't really put her tail up above her back, so the best way to just figure out how much energy she's gonna bring to the table is to look to see how fast her tail is wagging. If it's moving really fast, that's an indicator to you that she's probably not ready to see someone yet, because she's probably gonna jump on them because she's too excited. So just keep her back here, have her wait a little bit longer, and then when she's calmer, she's sitting, or she's able to stand there with her tail slowly wagging or still, that's an indicator that she can start to move forward. So you can use the same DAT training to help her out with people, to get her to stop jumping, as well as to not chase the cat, and all sorts of different things like that. Sit. Remember also to only ask her to do something once. So when you ask her to sit, you don't want to keep repeating yourself. Only ask her to do it once. If she doesn't want to do it, then she kind of loses the privilege of whatever she wanted. So you don't throw the toy for her, or you don't keep petting her, or whatever the case is. Sit. I kind of had a feeling she wouldn't do it, so I'm waiting. I didn't throw it for her. Now she sat. I only had to say it once. And now she's deciding whether she wants to go and play anymore. Oh, she had to decide which toy to get. It's not a bad idea to also start to tell her the difference between the toys, so you can start to label them. So after she's gotten the idea of take it and drop it, you can start saying, you know, calling this toy whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it pink toy, or pink whatever, or bone, I don't know what you want to call it. If you call it bone, you can say take it, bone, and she knows to go over and pick it up and bring it back. So you can train her on those very specific things, which is great for her because it'll burn off mental energy, which will help burn off energy in general. All right, and then lastly, I want to remind you that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.